G'day mates, welcome to the Hutber show. It's where we cover stuff about the Hutber and the show. It's really weird. It's like a normal show, but nothing really happens. And then at the end of it, we just kind of get together and say, G'day.
Hutber show.
The Hutber show. Goodness me, what a show do we have for you today? It's a great show. Call blimey government. No, that's English. Call. What did he say? What? Yeah, English. I think I need some more idioms of Australian to be able to hold that together without laughing and without, well, just generally nothing really. You'll notice though that it's a bloody good day. It's bright sunshine outside. It's like -2. -2, mate. All right, mate. Hello, mate. Anyway, that's 55 seconds of your life you will never get back. And I don't want you to get them back, truth be told. But yeah, it is -2 outside. It is day and it feels a lot nicer. And when I say day, I've been recording these at like 4:30 p.m. and it's dark, which is normal for winter. Oh, I was driving to Albert's yesterday and I have to say, I was snug in my car. It's an electric car, right? It's an i3. And the range is probably like maximum, let's say 70 miles. Officially it's like 92. And yeah, the problem is you turn the heating on, it just kills the battery. It took me like 2 months to work that out, but obviously it's been like a year since I've had it. It's not obvious to anyone else, but it's obvious now that I've said it to all of you. Although I don't know if that's knowledge or obvious. And I wouldn't say it's obvious because it's like predicted, but anyway, it's not predicted either. But got the car, BMW, 70 miles range. Turn on that heating, which I did yesterday, and I think we charged it, got to like 92%. Heating, like not even full, right? Just like halfway there. 30 miles range. So imagine that, your car, in the cold, you've got 30 miles. They do have amazing seat warmers. So you can kind of caveat that. You kind of had to turn it on, heat the car up a bit, sit down, get warm, turn the heater off, and be like, yeah, cool. But anyway, what was the point? Australia. That was the point, mate. Weird. I do like Australia. I was watching a video of Australians and well, it was a couple and a kid in the back, and the dad was driving and the mum was next to him, and then a snake just pops out the bonnet and they go, Jesus Christ, mate. And then he starts calling his wife mate. She's like, pull over, Kevin, pull over. And he's like, God, fucking hell, mate, I can't, there's nowhere to pull over. Where do you want me to pull over? And then the kid goes, what is it, Papa? What is there? And then the dad's like, bloody hell, mate, it's a snake. Point is, I asked, I don't know how to say your name, by the way, Dejan. I don't know why it's French. Dejan. Anyway, a guy I've been talking to for like 8 years, maybe less. I don't know. I haven't been in the hobby 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. Apparently everyone in Australia does indeed call everybody mate, their wife, their child. I guess their bank manager. But today's episode is normal, nothing else planned, and I'm excited for it. I always am. I get more excited progressively as the show goes on, though. I build myself up. Interestingly, I showed my mate. None of them know I did this, and not by like, I mean, they knew I did it, but they never. Well, actually, one guy only watches it for the intros, so everyone knew about it. But I sent it to my mate, and he watched it, and he said he feels physically violated and disgusted, and he said it's like. It's like going to, you meet your mate and he's like on drinks with work and he's got his workmates and he's totally different. So that was an interesting thing. And I guess what it is this is like what you see there or here is like what goes on in my mind all the time. But obviously, you know, I keep it together when I'm in front of people. So they're not, I was going to say inflicted, that's not true. People they're not comfortable, you know, with this level of intensity and jumping around thoughts. But when you do your Hutber show, or a show that nobody else can mediate, it's probably the right word, you're free reign to be yourself, right? Unless you're worried about that, about yourself, like maybe you were racist, sexist, or something like that. You don't want to bring that to the fore because you'll get shot down. I mean, I suppose people, I don't really actually hold it back, but this is like the full untethered version. And then when I'm with people, that's like the, do you know what I mean? The if this is normal for me, and then I'm here with people, and then with my, and then with other people, now I'm like, well, I realise no one asked the question. No one needed to ask. The point was, I enjoy it. So, where have I been? I'm looking down because this is the little gizmoid that lets me do the controls. You think I'd learn them off by heart by now, but I've only done 31. The process. Where are we now? 5 minutes, baby. Where am I? I am still painting. Thank you very much. I want to call you Liam, but I know that's not your name anymore. Craig and Toby. And I'm still enjoying it. Very much so. I've had a little bit of a blip where I've been playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3. And obviously I'm like on and off with that. But I had a little addictive phase. So I'm still actually in that at the moment. It's like 3 days. I stayed up to like 2:40 playing it. I have never had in my entire life a game so well poised. It's like a turn-based strategy game, right? It's not like live or anything. And you get your troops. It's kind of RPG, but it's not because you have multiple characters you can upgrade. But it's perfect. So actually I haven't painted since Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. But before that, I was painting solidly. But yeah, this is my progression of recreating that, and I put it next to the artwork so you could see exactly where I was at on it. But it's an Eldar, obviously, I love it. It's by Juan again, which is pretty much everything is going to be by Juan these days, because he is my Lord Saviour. Oh, I don't know, Muse. He's just the best. Okay, I love him on multiple levels. But and the good thing is he never watches this, so I don't know what that means. But yeah. Oh, fucking hell, I love it. I love the model. I love the conversion. I love looking just there and the guys there. I spoke about this all last week. Anyway, but what I did do, right, I haven't got pictures of it. I was scrolling through the Elder Project folder again. And, I thought I'd lost some of that passion, as it were. So I was just checking my wife's talking to me. For that project. And I had kind of, because it was too difficult to recreate exactly. Then I did one standard bearer, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. So I looked at the thing again from the Elder Project, which is on the channel if you want to find it. It's called the Elder Project. And boy, the emotions were flaring on how much I do want to recreate that stuff. It's a very weird relationship I have with it. The pain that it took me to paint that Farseer for some reason, maybe because it was my first model back for like the 3 years, or I'm not sure really actually what caused. I think again, like the recreating the 1-to-1, it kind of zaps your buzz, as it were. But then I did that standard bear and I was like free and liberated, and I was like and then I was talking to Albert and we were having that much fun. We like the old hammer, looking through some white dwarves together. So here we are. I'll admit, I think the brown is a little bit strong for the 1-to-1 comparison. You can't see it that well, actually. It's weird. It comes out more pixelated, the Codex version. But I think I'll just go. I'd rather get more done, right, and not like perfect, and just a general feeling. So that is where I'm at, and I'm still painting. I'm gonna try and finish that Heroes of Might and Magic level so that I can actually, paint again. Because it's a weird one. When you finish a computer game, you're so hollow inside, unless it's Zelda. But it takes us to this part of the show where I look at things, other things. The last one was look at me things. This is look at other things. Now, I was scrolling through Instagram to find things. That's the only reason why I scroll. Actually, I've found that now I'm on Instagram, frustratingly, it's like a self-filling loop. I don't know. I'm on it to try and sign us to the show, which means I'm looking at stuff and I'm seeing more stuff. And because I'm in the right frame of mind where I don't hate it anymore, it actually works in a way to motivate me to want to paint more. So this is by Chkminis. I guess it's Chkminis. But I actually know now this is Tony, who came to Golden Demon with, well, I wouldn't say came with me really, because came with our now, but I met Tony, and I didn't know, right? So I was scrolling through, I was like, oh my god, that's got some atmosphere. Like, I can feel where it is, which was a powerful thing for me, coming from now so much like 1999 heavy metal style. This had a lot of mood to it, right? He's standing fire, some lava, actually is probably how I see it more than anything else. But I loved it, I did. I looked at it and I was like, also I've started including in the Instagram things, like the little ats. I don't know what they're called, handles, rather than the names, because A, I have to look up the names, and when I save the images, they save with the profile names, and B, so you can find it. So it's like a double-edged sweet thing for me. But yeah, if you want to look them up, there they are. You can follow them. You can message them. You can give them some abuse, or I don't know, dick pics or whatever you want to send them. I don't really know what famous people get. But yeah, Chkminis, I loved it. I don't know what the model is. I don't need to know. It's not important, man. What's important is the mood. But yeah, Tony, I did enjoy the piece very much so. And I did genuinely, I was scrolling. I was like, that's nice. Let me save it for the show. Come in. And I was a little bit annoyed that I saw your name there, because I was like, damn, now I have to like tell him that I saw it naturally, rather than like me including it just because he's somebody I know, which I don't really do I? Otherwise Lionel would be here. Hey-o! No offense. Right. This is a complex piece for me, being an Eldar avid fan, as you know, and an older Eldar fan. So I don't really... It's like a masterpiece, this painting, right? From like a feeling, technical, and the whole atmosphere for it, and kind of what Eldar is. So I love it on many levels. But the reason why it's complex for me is because it's not old hammer. Or middle hammer, actually, is what I like. It's new Eldar. And until I went to Golden Demon, I despised all Games Workshop stuff, really, specifically Eldar stuff, because they were just moving away from the feeling that I liked to this feeling. But then I look at it and I really, really like it. So that's where the conflict is. Because obviously, so Golden Demon, and then, so speaking to the sculptors there, I can't remember their names, but it made me realise they are passionate about sculpting. So it's not just like, I always felt like they were just a corporation churning out crap, basically, like without any feelings, if that makes sense. Like, they don't say who the sculptor is, for example. And everything is just Games Workshop Studio. So you don't really have any affiliation with a single person. And then when speaking to this sculptor, I think there were two we were talking to, they were super passionate, and I mean, I assume this isn't a lie. They were saying they can tell the difference on who sculpted who. So when they see something, they'll be like, oh, that's X, because they know. And it makes sense when you're living and breathing, and importantly, you actually know who they are. Like, for us, we never know who the sculptors are unless you're in that circle and you can ask them. So for us, it's just a big blur. It's a bit like watching a TV show and they had 10 directors on each episode, and you could probably tell the difference of the different... I'm just picking an analogy of the exact same thing I'm explaining, but you could probably tell the difference between each show if you knew who had done them, and you're like, oh, that's his style. But otherwise, it's like you watch the show and you never think about it. So we digest... What did we digest? Warhammer. So you digest Warhammer, and you know it's Warhammer, you don't know who it is. So, but if you were privy to that information, you might start picking up small traits. Look, you can already tell it's getting darker, and it's 30 past 3. It's a kid looking at me. It's a bit weird. Right, so back to this piece. I don't know who sculpted it. I would like to know, so I could ask them to do a commission. Obviously they couldn't. But it's painted so well, like so well. So it erupts in me some feelings of appreciation, like extreme. But it doesn't quite have the 1999 feeling that I have. So that's where it's weird, because there are loads of people who are actually doing 99 stuff. I think I've actually got one. Yeah, right, I do. So this was like another one from an early... Well, that I was going to feature later. By Whiskey and Wizards, which oddly is actually exactly what I love. So that's a very good user handle name. I love whiskey. It's the only drink I really love other than water. And I love Wizards. So you're ticking 2 boxes. But yeah, this guy's been doing loads of Eldar, and in like almost exactly what I'm doing, actually. Like 1-for-1s of the originals. But really well. Like, so that's why I featured it, like, because I love it. So to not cover it yet, but like to go back. So like, I really appreciate this, right? And okay, this is a close up. Like, and I really appreciate this, but for two really different reasons. And that's why I was saying it's complex, because this invokes in me the feeling of the old, right? Which is exactly what I want to do. This invokes in me, like, my modern day painting. This is like where at the level I want to be able to interpretate the volumes, to be able to technically do that kind of feeling, the smoothness on the transitions between all the things, and relatively quick, I assume, if it's Dave, and because it's Eldar. But I don't have the same feelings attached to the model as I do with this one. Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, it's brilliant, basically. And I hope you can go to Golden Demon. Just sack it off. Just leave Australia for a weekend. Come to Golden Demon. Enjoy yourself. So yeah, brings me up straight to whiskey and wine. Whiskey and Wizards. Yeah, obviously brilliant. Obviously exactly what I'm doing. I hadn't quite cognitively clocked that he was doing what I'm doing. The one-to-one translation of the old styles. I don't think it's quite one-to-one. It's a bit smoother. It's a bit cleaner. It's basically much more modern. And yet still obviously old school. Whereas I'm trying to recreate exactly what was done back there. So, and not improve on it in any way. Just literally recreate it. I'd actually like to see, I think it was nowhere as clean like the details, but otherwise it's an exact replica. And it's jolly well done. I would like to see them next to each other as well. You know, like literally next to each other, the models from the original, the old one and the new one, to see the comparative details. Yeah, you're just faster and a step ahead of me, but I will catch you in my own slow regard. But obviously I had to feature this. Worth checking out if you like old stuff. ElMiniaturista. Now I think his username, right, is it is ElMiniature, right? Rista. ElMiniaturista. Nailed it. The L bit, I'm guessing he's called Elaine or Ellie, or I don't know, something to do with L, right? So it's probably a woman now, actually. The Miniaturista, I thought was like futuristic miniature painter, but now Rista, I think that's got something to do with tea or coffee. Barista. So it could be any of those things, but the most important part is the model. I have no idea if this is conversion or not. I hate orcs in 40k compared to how much I like orcs in fantasy. I also dislike them in the new. I like them probably from 3rd edition and even old Hammer, like 2nd edition, because they had this like super playful character where they're basically stupid and powerful. But this, I still like the tone. Like everything for me kind of just, it's a really nice model. Everything fits together quite well. And the colours are soft and nice, which is a contrast to how disgusting and powerful he is. So I think it's a really great job. I enjoyed it thoroughly when I scrolled through. And I must get through a lot of pictures when I think about it, if I'm scrolling to find these things. Certainly not hours, but there's a lot of content out there. And if you're just scrolling, so for this to pop like it did, I enjoyed it. I like the atmosphere, the mood, and I think the grey backdrop certainly helped. Does it make me want to paint orcs, you say? Not this era of orc, no. And that's because it's still too, like, I wouldn't have the patience to do what you've done. ElMiniaturista. ElMiniaturista. Oh, Martin. So this is the first set of I don't know Martin's surname, by the way, because we've been emailing, so that's why this is here. So, and you'll notice that the main wearing the wine shirt, which he owns, by the way. I didn't include that here, but that's the story. That is him. He is Martin. Yeah. What the hell am I saying? This is the first of my the Parsnip King that I've seen out in the wild painted, right? So I released it through Dragonhead, bloody hell, maybe a year and a half ago now. So it's been out a really long time. There aren't many sold, as there always are for my stuff, like not many sold. And I loved it. It cracked me up because they're goblins, but the way he's painted the sad goblin with the white eyebrows and the skin, he just looks like an old bloke with big ears. And obviously the crazy Nasher guys, well, he doesn't look like a hobbit or a goblin or a human. He looks like a crazed lunatic who you wouldn't want to fuck with because he'll bite your face off. But I was inspired by the piece quite heavily because I'm so, like, obviously I've got the Eldar project going on, but I'm still too scared to tackle the terrain. I did do the base right last time, so I'm not so scared because I'm going for it a bit more. But now I'm painting, so I don't want to take away from the painting time. So I guess for the next piece, I'll try and do a scenic base again, build it up and paint there, and then I can do it. But I love that he's just done this base and it's got a story already. Like, it says keep clear landmines, keep out expo is mined, land is mine. Oh, land is mine, land is mined. I don't know. There's a story, all right, and I think it's a good one, and it plays into the whole thing. So I was inspired by this because it's exactly where I want to go with my modelling. Just be more free, paint how I want to. That's it, really. So I'm thanking Martin for that little tidbit of information. He didn't give me any information; he just sent me the thing and we spoke. I might send you this link so you can watch. But yeah, a little wink there for you. Vlad Fox Sculptures, otherwise called Vlad Fox. He's the guy who's been making me the large scale Eldar, right? Like the 30 centimeter Eldar that I've got. So I've probably got 5 of those now. And in the interim, he builds sculpts for other people. And I think this is the first one I've noticed that he's done for himself, but it is a Cat Space Marine, as you can tell. And I thought it was so different, so cool that I had to include it because it's kind of, he is a Space Marine. It's on point. He's got those 3 little dots. But you'll notice loads of little cool things. It's harder to see when you're not zooming in, but like on the motifs at the back of the bottom of the loincloth, cat's heads. On the knee, cat's head. On the shoulder pad, instead of a space wolf skull, a cat skull. On the weapon, with the thing where it would say Astrada or Estrada, it says meow. So there's loads of cool things, basically, he's included. In a way, I'd love that this would fire like cat manure or like cat treats to distract the other cats that they're fighting. But yeah, I had to include it because I think it's actually a good sculpt, and B, his feet are tiny, which does make me laugh. But yeah, it was just so worthwhile. Interesting. Hold on. Minimaturs. So I need to put, so it's got the Minimaturs logo there. Oh yeah. Here I should probably include Minimaturs here too. But that's the Dragonhead, so that should have Dragonhead. Right, guys. Thank you very much. One of the longest shows. Good day. Good to see you. And as always, thank you for watching very much. Can't believe that I'm getting more views on this video than I am on the Golden Demon video, which I obviously covers the Golden Demon event, which took me years to edit and includes Frozen soundtrack, which was the first video, but Golden Demon Games Workshop did not reply for me to publish it, as it were. But thank you. Thank you all. I'll see you next week. Bye.